18 yellow cards, 1 red, benches cleared, players shoved, referees overwhelmed. What was supposed to be a World Cup quarter-final turned into an all-out war. It wasn't just a football match, it was chaos, not with guns, but with tackles, taunts, and yellow cards flying like confetti. The world watched in disbelief as two footballing giants, Argentina and the Netherlands, collided in one of the most hostile, explosive, and unforgettable clashes in World Cup history. This is the story of Argentina versus Netherlands, the most violent match in football history. The rivalry between Argentina and the Netherlands didn't begin in Qatar. No, this was decades in the making. A slow-burning fire fueled by heartbreak, revenge, and unfinished business. 1978, Buenos Aires, the World Cup final. Argentina beat the Netherlands on home soil, a victory shadowed by controversy, whispers of manipulation, and Dutch resentment that lingered for years. 1998, the quarter-finals. Bergkamp's last-minute stunner crushed Argentine dreams. A cold, clinical dagger. No brawls, no chaos, just cold-blooded football. But the pain remained. 2014, Brazil, the semi-finals. Messi versus Robin. Two giants, both desperate. The match ended 0-0, and in penalties, Argentina triumphed. Dutch hearts broke again. By the time 2022 arrived, this wasn't just a match. It was personal. It was history demanding vengeance. Quarterfinals, Qatar, two proud nations, two footballing cultures with no love lost, and one last chance to settle the score. No one knew what was about to happen, but looking back, maybe it was inevitable. All that history, all that hate had to erupt sometime. Argentina entered the tournament on fire. 36 matches unbeaten, Copa America champions, and Lionel Messi chasing destiny. But fate doesn't give away greatness easily. Their World Cup campaign started with shockwaves. Saudi Arabia, the underdogs, stunned the world by defeating Argentina 2-1 in the opening match. The football world held its breath. Was the dream already dead? But champions don't fold. They rise. Argentina bounced back with authority. Messi led them past Mexico with a thunderbolt from outside the box. Then came Poland, a 2-0 victory that secured top spot in Group C. In the round of 16, they faced a spirited Australia. It wasn't easy. Messi scored his first World Cup knockout goal. And despite late pressure, Argentina survived. The mission was still alive. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Netherlands marched like a machine. In Group A, they dismantled Senegal 2-0, drew with Ecuador, and then brushed aside hosts Qatar. Efficient, cold, calculated. Their round of 16 clash, the Dutch toyed with them 3-1. Tactical perfection from Van Gaal's men, two giants, both fueled by purpose. Argentina, driven by destiny. The Netherlands, driven by redemption. And what the world expected to be a footballing masterclass turned into something far darker. It wasn't a game. It was a storm waiting to break loose. December 9th, 2022, Lusail Stadium. Over 88,000 fans holding their breath. The quarter-final stage, two titans facing off. The whistle blew, and the world leaned in. For the first half hour, it was chess. Tactical, patient, controlled aggression. Both sides probing, testing, but no one flinching. Then, out of nowhere, magic. In the 35th minute, Lionel Messi did what only he can do. Surrounded by orange shirts, he carved open the Dutch defense with a pass so perfect, it felt scripted. Nahuel Molina latched onto it, took a touch, and slotted it past the keeper. The crowd erupted. The Dutch looked stunned. But with that goal came a shift. Frustration crept in, tempers stirred, and the first flashpoint arrived just before halftime. In the 43rd minute, Dutch defender Jurrien Timber was shown the first yellow card of the night. A clumsy foul, yes, but more than that, it was a signal. The mood was changing. The calm was cracking. The tension was rising. And the second half would be a storm. Argentina may have gone into the break with the lead, but peace, that was already gone. Second half, Argentina led 1-0, but they weren't done. In the 73rd minute, the referee pointed to the spot. Penalty. Lionel Messi stepped up. Pressure all around him, and as always, he delivered. Calm, precise, ruthless. But it wasn't just the goal. It was what came after. Messi turned to the Dutch bench, hands cupped behind his ears, mocking Van Gaal. a tribute to Juan Román Riquelme, and a clear message: we're not afraid of you. The temperature spiked, the tension thickened. This wasn't football anymore, it was personal. Van Gaal responded the only way he could. He threw on a wild card. So in the 78th minute, he rolled the dice. He subbed off Memphis Depay, the team's star forward, and brought on Wout Weghorst, a towering, aggressive striker built for chaos. It was a desperate move, a gamble, a storm in waiting, and in the 83rd minute, Van Gaal's gamble paid off. Wout Weghorst, the towering super sub, rose above the Argentine defense like a wrecking ball, a bullet header into the bottom corner. Suddenly, the impossible felt possible. The atmosphere shifted. Argentina looked rattled. The Dutch were charging. Every ball became a battle, every second a war. And Argentina? They did what any desperate team would do when the pressure closes in. They started killing the clock. Players stayed down longer. Substitutions slowed to a crawl, delays, distractions, little fouls to break rhythm. The crowd roared in protest. Dutch players fumed. The clock kept ticking, but barely moving. Fouls piled up. Pushes turned into shoves. Words turned into venom. The match was boiling, overflowing, and all of it building toward one final, furious climax. Then came the board. 11 minutes of added time. The Dutch weren't done yet. They threw everything forward. And then, in the dying seconds, came a free kick just outside the box. Everyone braced for a thunderous shot, but instead, Teun Koopmeiners rolled the ball through the wall like a magician. Wout Weghorst took a perfect touch, turned, fired, and scored. Absolute pandemonium. The Dutch bench exploded onto the pitch. Argentina was in disbelief. A mass confrontation ignited, players pushing, screaming, losing control. A fight nearly broke out. The referee was surrounded. Chaos ruled the pitch. And in the middle of it all, Antonio Mateo Lajos, the man with the whistle, completely lost control. Fouls, confrontations, shoves after the whistle. Yellow after yellow, a record-breaking flood. It wasn't a football match anymore. It was a battlefield disguised as a quarterfinal. A World Cup record was shattered. 18 yellow cards and 1 red. The chaos reached boiling point when Leandro Paredes smashed the ball into the Dutch bench after a foul, a blatant act of provocation. The Dutch players swarmed. Van Dijk body-checked Paredes to the ground. The benches emptied. Players clashed. Security stood by, stunned. Lajos tried to regain order, but his own decisions only fanned the flames. Yellow cards were given to Messi, Otamendi, Acuna, Romero, Paredes. The list went on. Even Denzel Dumfries received a red after the penalty shootout. It wasn't football anymore. It was chaos in its purest form. After 120 minutes of drama, they still couldn't be separated. It came down to penalties. Emiliano Martinez, Argentina's eccentric, relentless, and taunting goalkeeper, became a wall. He saved 2 penalties. Lautaro Martinez scored the final one. Argentina advanced, but the tension never left. Messi didn't hold back after the match. He lashed out at Van Gaal. He said they play good football, but he brought on tall players and started hitting long balls. Why are you talking now? And of course, that moment. Messi turning to the Dutch bench, shouting, "What are you looking at, fool? Get out of here." That night, Argentina beat the Netherlands. But something greater was etched into football folklore. It wasn't just a win, it was a battle of wills, of pride, of rage. A match remembered not just for the drama, but for the darkness. 19 cards, fights, screams, tears. Some called it disgraceful. Others called it unforgettable. One thing's for sure, you've never seen a football match like that. What do you think? Was this the most violent match in football history? Or just passion taken too far? Comment below with your thoughts.